So, Terminator Dark Fate is coming out soon. It's coming out next week. So to celebrate that, I decided to review every single Terminator movie leading up to Terminator Dark Fate coming out next week. I'm excited to review these movies because Terminator movies are basically my childhood life. So, I'm so excited to revisit the Terminator franchise once again. It's very hit and miss for this franchise, but still, I'm very excited to review all those movies. So, let's get started. I basically review every single Terminator film each day of this week. So, let's start this review with the movie that started all and also influences science fiction films till this day. The Terminator. So The Terminator came out in 1984 and it's directed by James Cameron. Basically, this movie follows the story of this lonely woman named Sarah Connor, who basically is very down on luck, but what she doesn't know that she is in greater destiny. She finds out there is a cybernetic organism went back in time from the future to kill her, but also she finds out there is a soldier named Kyle Reese that went back in time and protect her. So both of them two, Kyle Reese and the Terminator, have to race against Sarah Connor first, basically leading up to a fight between man and machine. Now, the Terminator came out in 1984, and it's basically the right time for the Terminator to come out because it's just happened after the Star Wars trilogy basically ends, and everyone's like, what is the next movie franchise right now? What is the next science fiction action masterpiece franchise right now? And the Terminator came out and influences films, or science fiction films in general, till this day. I could go all day saying how fantastic the Terminator is and how it influences science fiction films today, but we're going to talk about why the Terminator is that freaking good. Starting out with the characters in the movie, we got Sarah Connor, played by Linda Hamilton, who's basically one of the most sympathetic characters in the entire film. She works as a waitress. She's very shit at her job. Also, she got bombed by her boyfriend on the same day, and basically her day is going to get worse when she finds out there's a cybernetic organism known as a Terminator going back to kill her. So basically, you feel sympathy for her for getting into this situation, and I think Linda Hamilton did a great job in this movie. Also got Michael Biehn as Kyle Reese. He's basically a very damaged, broken soldier that came from the future, and when you see him for the first time, you're like, yeah, he is very broken and very, very damaged. He doesn't know how to feel like himself. And throughout the movie, you get to see him trying to be himself in the past. And you do feel sympathy for Kyle Reese as well, living in that future where the machines is basically fighting against the human resistance. But of course, we cannot talk about the Terminator without talking about one of the most iconic castings ever. And that is the Terminator, played by Arnold Schwarzenegger. He's a cybernetic organism that went back in time and kill Sarah Connor. Even Kyle Reese mentioned to Sarah Connor that he would not stop until she is dead. I love the way they introduced the Terminator in this movie, where he basically kills these three thugs. He killed the gun member, and also he kills every single woman on Earth named Sarah Connor. What a great villain entry, and you can see that Terminator is terrifying because of what he did in the first 20 minutes of the film. You can see that, oh god, Sarah Connor is basically screwed right now. But what I love about the Terminator is the writing. James Cameron did such a great job writing this movie because this whole movie is original. We've never seen anything before. Basically, now we've seen a lot of movies about this guy's got to kill this guy and one guy has to protect that guy. But Terminator is the one that started all with that. And what's great about this movie is that there are so many questions in this film that the audience will probably question the film. And this film basically answers for them. For example, we basically figure out why Sarah Connor is a big deal in this film. Because she birthed her son named John Connor in the future, which he's a leader of the human resistance who fight against those machines in the future. Basically, this film, Sarah Connor, is the main important part of the future because John Connor, her son, is the one that makes the humans fight these machines. So that's a very interesting aspect of the film, that Kyle Reese is basically not just trying to save Sarah Connor, he's trying to save John Connor as well. But also there are some stuff that makes sense in the film as well. Like for example, when Kyle Reese was arrested, one of the doctors in the film saying, well, why didn't the Terminator just go back to kill John Connor himself instead of his mother? And Kyle Reese answered, there won't be much difference because basically John Connor has influenced and inspired every single human resistance to fight these machines. So if John Connor's dead, there will still be hope for the human race. So basically, if the Terminator kills Sarah Connor, there is no John Connor, there is no hope for the human resistance, and the machines won. I love stuff like that. I love details in movies like that where it completely makes sense throughout. But we get to know a bit about John Connor in this film, but we don't get to see John Connor in the film, but we get to hear John Connor kind of, like Kyle Reese mentioned to Sarah Connor that what John Connor said to her, to say, be strong, because you're the one who did inspire me to be the leader of the human resistance. So basically, that's why Sarah Connor is a really huge deal in this movie. And I gotta say, the Terminator with the action scenes is one of the most iconic action scenes that I've ever seen. Even though I think the score during these action scenes were very freaking cheesy, but there's not really much fist fights in this movie. Most of this movie is like car chases and gunfights. That's what makes this movie very entertaining with its action scenes. But also the theme, one of the most iconic themes in movies today. If you have not seen Terminator, at least know the theme, the dun-dun-dun-dun-dun. Dun-dun-dun-dun-dun. If you have not heard of this theme before, you're basically living in a cave right now. But does the Terminator have flaws? Sadly, it does have a bit. There are a couple aspects of the film that I don't really care, honestly, because the Terminator is a fantastic film in general, but I just think it does have a little bit of flaws. One part of this movie where Kyle Reese and Sarah Connor are basically making out in the movie, and basically the weird aspect of that is that John Connor is basically sending Kyle Reese to protect Sarah Connor. So basically, John Connor is sending Kyle Reese to go bang his mom. I wonder how that turns out before he actually came to that timeline. I just wanted to see the conversation of like Kyle Reese going to Irvin saying, "Oh, yeah, Kyle, you need to bang my mom so they can make me," like, that's kind of strange for me. Also, the special effects for the most part was really great in the film. Like when you see the endoskeleton in the film, it looks good. It's very stop motion practical effects, which that is like the king of A's because they did that in RoboCop as well. I'm talking about more of the, when you see the Terminator basically seeing the skin and the machine elements in his face together, it looks kind of like clay and makeup, and it doesn't look as realistic. I know this movie came out in the 80s and that's all they can do, but literally, I just felt like that kind of bothers me in this film. But guys, overall, The Terminator is one of the best science fiction action films still till this day. This has a great story written by James Cameron. The direction of this movie is great. Arnold Schwarzenegger, one of the most iconic castings ever, and with his one-liners, "I'll be back." Yeah, I can't believe I didn't say that in the middle of the review, because literally, you can't review The Terminator without that line. But Arnold Schwarzenegger was great, Linda Hamilton as Sarah Connor was great, Michael Biehn was awesome as Kyle Reese. This is a great psychological thriller as well. Like, it's a thriller, it's an intense action sci-fi thriller that has some really great scenes and one of the most fantastic written movies that I've seen in science fiction films today. I'm going to give The Terminator an A. So guys, look forward to tomorrow because I'm going to review not just one of the best movie sequels of all time, but one of my favorite movies in general, Terminator 2 Judgment Day. So look forward to that. But guys, have you guys seen The Terminator? What do you think of The Terminator? Let me know in the comments below if you like the movie, hate the movie, or you thought it's not as good as the other movies in the franchise. Just let me know in the comments below. And also tell me what is your favorite scene from The Terminator. Make sure you guys follow me on Facebook, Stardust, Instagram, Twitter. Keep contacting me and make sure you guys subscribe to my channel, notified for my latest reviews. And have a nice day.